Good Friday morning, people. How's everybody doing? Morning, Lisa 54. Thinking of you, kid. Dee 33, Bernie Duran, the one and only Puss in Boots, listening while working. TL Hodge, Captain Obvious. Um, I'm sorry, Captain Obvious, about what's going on with you. That people do suck. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but serendipity. Good morning, Sarah. Sarah just went through something very similar, Captain Obvious, so she might be one to talk to. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, but good morning, Crime Canary. Hope your tooth is feeling better. So I'm gonna start this off with a funny story, and then I'm gonna get into the insanity around this community. Good morning, Mommy of Three Girls. And I want to say thank you to all my new Patreons. Thank you for joining. Good morning, Jamie. We're going to be doing a giveaway here soon. We'll have another chat. We had so much fun on our, I don't even know what you call it, but it was a private chat. Hello, Melanie G. Um, so I'm going to start this off with a funny story. Then I'm going to ask Sarah to come up. And then we're going to talk about, and we can talk about the insanity. Good morning, Irish Marie, about the insanity in this community. Okay, because this is my platform. Hey, Galway girl, um, and everybody seems to be okay with talking about what's going on around this community. So please don't come to my comments and leave shitty comments because you don't think that me or Sarah or anyone else has the right to do so. Morning, Mary. So just please don't bother. Okay. You can keep your opinions to yourself. I rarely come to anybody's comments and leave a comment unless it's somebody like Wendy V or somebody like that. So if you think what we're going to talk about is unfair and it's none of our business and we shouldn't be talking about it, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but just don't come to my comment section and blast me. Okay. Because I'm just going to start removing them. It's that simple. But funny story. I had some garbage to take out yesterday. The driveway is gravel. I'm in my floppy slippers. I still have a bit of neuropathy from the chemotherapy from a few years back, and the doctor told me I might have it for the rest of my life. So okay, Captain Obvious, ATL Hodge. Um, yeah, if you bring it to YouTube, it can be talked about. Those were famous words. Hello, Mrs. Michelle. So the garbage cans are down at the end of the driveway. So it doesn't make sense to me to take the garbage bag all the way down the driveway and put them in the can and then come back without anything. So I decided I was going to pull the garbage cans, and they're the big city kind of garbage cans. I mean, they're huge. They've got the wheels and the handles and everything on them. So I'm trying to pull two garbage cans down the driveway in my floppy slippers. Good morning, Casey. I'm trying to get them in the spot where they go. They have a certain spot beside the house where they belong. And I'm trying to get them in there. And somehow or another, I fell. And I fell flat on my back. And I'm laying there thinking, please, God, don't let a neighbor run over here asking me if I'm okay. I was so embarrassed. But I'm trying to roll over on my front so that I can attempt to stand up. But it's hard to roll over because of this no, I can't stay in gabapentin. It's like piling out of me. But I'm trying to roll over, and because of this hernia, it makes it hard. So I'm laughing at myself at this point because, well, I mean, what else can you do but laugh at yourself? So I can't grab a hold of the garbage can because the one that's closest to me is empty and it's just going to end up falling on my head. So what I did was I finally got to my feet. About the time I got to my feet, my brother pulls in the driveway and I'm covered in gravel and grass, and he starts laughing. I start laughing. He's like, "Leave the damn garbage cans alone. Leave them where they're." But it was funny. I get if you would have been there, you would have laughed too. Because at this point, I'm rolling around on the ground trying to get up. It was funny. I just didn't want the neighbors to see it. Hey, Tia Hodge. Okay, so I'm going to drop a link for Sarah, and we're going to talk about the insanity that went on last night because this community has lost their freaking minds. Suddenly, if you say something horrible and someone lies to you and says, well, this person didn't even feel that bad about it, then suddenly you become the victim in the situation. You get to start crying, saying you were, that's link is for you, Sarah, that you were used as a scapegoat. Are you kidding me? You put those nasty tweets out, and now all of a sudden you're the victim here because some sociopath, like full on drama, says
Good
so.
morning.
Morning, Sharon. It has. It's gone full on loco around here. So, what would you like to start out with, Sarah? Because there's plenty to talk about.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about. You know, I'm upset that I like Randy, okay? I care about her, and I think that people have the right to stand up
Okay.
for her when she's being dragged the way she is. You know, Laura went live last night, and all this was about Randy and this tweet that Laura had put out a few months ago. How, let's see, looks like the wrong person committed suicide. And that was aimed towards Randy about her mother. Laura claimed she got so much heat for this that that's why she was put into the middle of all this. So she went live for FOD. FOD had supposedly told her, Laura that is, that Randy's tears wasn't real. That, you know, if anyone thinks she was upset about this, she wasn't. Now, my problem with this is, why are you taking the word of full on drama without any receipts? All that is gossip. So you're going to go live and
Hey,
trash
asked you seven
Randy
for British Chippy.
based off something that FOD said? And there's no proof that Randy even said any of this?
Well, common sense says something like that would affect you. You know, if someone made fun of my deceased mother, my deceased father, my deceased brother, and now you're going to believe FOD saying that, yeah, she was just calling Fod a liar the other day, and now all
Yeah.
of a sudden she's going to believe it. Why? Because it fits her narrative.
She said she was a scapegoat in all of this, that she's always put into the middle of things. No, Laura, you put yourself into these situations. You are not a scapegoat. You are the one that went live last night about Randy.
And how many lives has Laura done that if you go on panel and cry, it'll get you plenty? And she was being facetious. She was being sarcastic. And how many lives has Laura done that if you go on? Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Let me play a little clip here. Is that okay? Or do you not want to
Well,
clip
yeah,
that?
go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to play this.
That's another thing. This is what I'm talking about. So someone went live instead of being a fucking woman and coming over here because I am the one that's hurt. Like, it has nothing to do with her. I am the one that's hurt. So be a fucking real woman and come over here and talk to me. But you can't do that because everything is a fucking game.
That's Laura projecting. Everything is a fucking game.
And
It's
what
not a
in the
game for
world?
Randy. It
Why
was
does
not.
she feel like Randy owes her some sort of apology or some
Randy
sort?
owes her nothing,
Well,
Tracy.
I'm telling Randy right now, Randy, if you're out there listening, I follow you. I consider you a good creator. I won't call you my friend because I've never spoke to you behind the scenes, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't get a restraining order against this woman, then you're going to end up like, I mean, talking bunny boiling bullshit. But now Laura wants to be the victim over
Yes.
horrible tweets that she put out. She still put that out in the universe. And she wants to believe Fod all of a sudden, when just the other day she was calling Fod a liar.
Laura wants to be a part of everything, and let me tell you why. In that Twitter tweet that she tweeted about the suicide, right before she made that tweet about the suicide, she said, quote, "How do you know you have already won a battle you haven't engaged in yet?" This goes so deep it's not even funny. Laura really thinks this is a battle and this is a war on who's going to come out on top. And Laura says hasn't engaged in yet. Laura puts herself into these situations so she can come out looking like a good guy. Like she can come out looking like she's won this imaginary war. This isn't a war. This is people's real lives, real emotions. When you talk about somebody, the wrong person committed suicide, do you think that they're not going to be upset about that, especially when it's their mother? Of course, Randy was upset about that. It wasn't fake. She was genuinely upset about that. My mom's been gone 35 years, and if her name gets mentioned, I still tear up. Anybody would. And when you're sitting there dragging a deceased relative, you're going to get backlash for that. Laura's been so bent out of shape that people, she said she lost Patreons over this, lost members, lost subs. Well, of course you did, because you said something so awful that nobody should sit there and say about a deceased loved one. Shame on you, Laura. And then to try to turn this all around on Randy because FOD said that her tears weren't real, that's bullshit because there's no proof. That's only FOD saying that. And you're going to take it as 100% fact? Shame on you. I thought you was a true crime detective. I thought you would be able to dig into that and see that this is all a lie because FOD is upset with Randy. FOD can't handle rejection. What did she do with Aaron F. when Aaron F. rejected her? She trashed her whole character. And now she's doing the same thing to Randy.
Well, I mean, FOD took what, a 3-day break? And as soon as she comes back, her videos are all about Randy. That
Yeah.
right there proves that she can't let go of the situation. Now, I don't know if Randy's doing anything behind the scenes. I don't know. But Randy, I'm telling you right now, as one of your followers, you got to shake this crazy psychotic nutcase. And if it means going and getting a restraining order from her, because she does have your address. She does know your personal business. And for Laura to turn all of this whole situation around on her
And
and
how
sit
she's
on
the
her
victim.
panel and cry that she's the victim of her own words.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me play one more clip because I was floored when I heard this. And then we'll talk about it because this needs to be talked about. Let me play this.
With exactly where it's at. You know, it has nothing to do with how far I've come or how much worse bullshit I've dealt with. It just doesn't fucking end. Like, yep.
What's bothering you so much specifically about this, though?
Just that for 18, 19, 20 months, I've always been used as a scapegoat. And to know that here comes another fight between FOD and Randy, or another blowout, and who gets hurt in it? Me. Like that. Thank you, Patricia, but that fucking hurt. Like to hear that, oh, it was all just a joke. You fucking bashed me. You had an entire fucking community come after me for this fucking comment. Right. And you're laughing about it behind the scenes. No, people need to fucking know that. People need to hear that. You know, every fucking comment I ever make, they come after me. Come after me.
So now there is no proof that Randy was laughing about this behind the scenes. No proof whatsoever. She's just taking FOD's word because she was humiliated that their Twitter tweets got blasted. That's all this is about. Laura
And
always wants.
listen to her words, that Randy allowed an entire community to come after her, as if Randy has any control over what this community does. People that Laura were associating with behind the scenes told Laura, don't tweet that. Don't tweet that. But no, those are your words, Laura. And you're trying to take the heat off yourself and collect money in the process. But kudos to you, because it seems to have worked.
I have no idea how Laura is able to manipulate this whole situation and manipulate her subs, Patreons, and members into believing all of this is Randy's fault and Laura is the victim. Laura's the one that's hurt. How are you hurt, Laura? You're the one that tweeted this shit. You're the one that's naive enough to believe FOD. Wasn't it just like a week ago that you said that you don't believe anything the FOD says, but now you automatically believe him, her? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with
It's Laura's
you?
narrative. It fits, it makes it somehow in her mind, in Laura's mind, it makes her the good guy, and it takes away from the cruel words that she's actually said.
Well, I'm not going to allow her to sit there and say that she's the victim in all this. You are no victim. You knew what you was putting out on Twitter. You was upset that I put it on my community post. You know why I put that on my community post? Because I have a mother that is gone. It hurt my heart to see you say that about someone. So yeah, I exposed your ass. And Laura, so help me God, if someone would have said that about your father, you would have flipped. You would have been upset. You would have been mad. You would have been hurt. So for you to sit there and say that Randy didn't cry over this or have any feelings about this and did this all for super chat, you should be ashamed of yourself. You are a piece of shit.
As she sits there and cries and collects super chats.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Do the people in her live stream really think she's the victim? If she's a victim of her own words.
Absolutely, Truth. You nailed it. If she's a victim of her own words. That's it right there in a nutshell.
I don't understand it. You know, hundreds of people go to her live stream. I realize some people go just to see a shit show. It happens, you know, everybody does it. But for her to sit there and pretend and cry that she's some kind of victim after the words that she spoke, that she put out in the universe about someone's mother committing suicide. Now, she'll say, I didn't say any names. But you also said, Laura, that you'll go even lower if you have to, if you're forced to. And then you went on to say that maybe they should quit coming at you. Well, like Ash274 said, I don't believe Randy ever spoke your name until you went to the funeral uninvited. And then that was just more of a joke than anything.
You know, not long ago, Laura said, don't bring your business to panels if you don't want it discussed. Well, Laura, we have every right to discuss it. Even you said it. So yes, you're getting critiqued on the things you say. When you come to YouTube, that's a public forum. So anybody can critique it. Anybody can talk about it. If you can talk about things that are no one's business, so can we.
And that'll be her next live.
Well, that's
Tracy
fine.
and Sarah are obsessed with me.
Well,
they went live about me
comments.
again.
She made some shitty comments on her live last night about us. How we think that we're the moral high ground of the community. No, we don't. We just want to call out people's bullshit. We want to
I'm not a moral high ground, but I'll tell you what, my mind doesn't even go where Laura's goes.
No,
Okay,
not
because
at
I would
all.
never think to attack someone over their deceased mother, especially considering the circumstances around Randy's losing her mother.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if I did ever utter words like that, I would apologize. I wouldn't sit on a stream and turn it around that somehow I'm the victim. So you want to call me and Sarah the moral high ground of YouTube? Then you go right ahead. I would rather be the moral high ground of YouTube than the low life scummy shit that you have said and done.
You know, they made fun of Randy's looks. They've made fun of her and FOD's friendship. When is this shit going to end? You know, God forbid anybody ever say anything about Laura. But she can talk all the shit she wants about everyone else. Explain that to me. Why is that okay?
And then cry and get paid for it.
Well, and yeah, and that's another thing. I can't count how many times her and Makeup Mobster mentioned the super chats that Randy was getting for crying. Of course she's going to be upset and cry. You guys are digging this up. Laura, you had no reason to go live about this last night, and you sat there and blamed it on Randy. No, you need to blame it on yourself because you opened a can of worms that had nothing to do with you, and then you inserted yourself as if you're the victim. Why are you the victim for what happened between Randy and FOD? How are you the victim in that?
Yeah, I heard her say, and Fod and Randy have a fight, and somehow I get drug into it.
She
No,
put herself into it.
exactly.
Read the description of her live from last night. It had nothing to do with her. And I'm going to say this, I don't have any proof on it, just like FOD doesn't have any proof that Randy said that, but I'm going to call this. Laura said the other night that her members or Patreons or whoever was paying her to discuss this FOD and Randy situation. How convenient of her to go live about this last night. I wonder if it's FOD paying her.
Yep. Yep. Did she send you some high dollar shampoo, Laura? By the way, Republican ass, just to let you know, your community post didn't prove shit because there's not a date on it. But I just thought I'd let you know that. But who is able to send out a tweet so disgusting? Not one tweet, but two tweets, because she also said something about Diane's sister.
Yeah.
Then threatens to go even lower and then sits on her panel crying that she is the victim of her own words. Then complains about Randy, who really did lose her mother, who really does have these feelings, getting super chats while Laura sits there and gets fucking super chats. Can somebody explain it? Would anybody like to come up and try to explain the insanity around here?
And for you to be arrogant enough to say that Randy needed to come to your panel to discuss this and to give you an apology is absolutely insane to me. Randy owes you nothing. In fact,
Nothing.
it's you that should be apologizing to her.
And Fod, everybody's on to you. Everybody's on to you. They come and they sit in your chat because you're a shit show, but everybody's on to you. Okay? Everybody's on to the fact that you're trying to come between people and Randy. And that was apparent with Hello Starlight. Now, I know Hello Starlight doesn't like me and she's pretty pissed off at me right now. But how many people, Fod, are you going to try to turn against Randy because of your psycho babble bullshit?
FOD is so childish. She said, well, Randy's just upset because Hello Starlight likes me more. Are you in 5th grade? That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. Because she likes me more.
I just can't with this. Hang on, Ballet Babe. Unless you're going to be able to.
FOD wants to hurt Randy, and that's why FOD had shoot the shit on her panel last night. Because she knows that there is turmoil between those people. She knows it, and that's why she had them on.
And you know what? I can even even step out of the Fod Randy thing. I can even step away from it. Like I said, Randy, you best get a restraining order because this crazy bitch knows where you live. Okay? That's my opinion, Randy. Do it or not.
Look at the patterns and the behaviors of FOD. She did this to Aaron. She's done this to other people. That love, I forget. She's done this to several women in this community. She manipulates and plays mind games with them. And then whenever FOD doesn't get what she wants from them, she attacks them. And that's exactly what she's doing to Randy.
You're all as bad as each other. Okay, Peachy Pops.
Thanks, Peachy Pops.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry, I don't go making comments that the wrong person committed suicide.
Yeah. And then
I'm
sit on
just
your
as
panel
bad.
and cry about it and act as if the person you made the comment about owes you some kind of apology. Are you kidding me?
That's her insane thinking, and she's bringing it to YouTube. That says a lot about who Laura is. Everything has to be about her. She has to insert herself into everybody's business. That's what she does. She's famous for it. And then she'll turn it around and cry about it, saying that she's a scapegoat. You are not a scapegoat when you insert yourself into these situations. I'm sorry, you're just not.
I don't know. Like I said, I woke up this morning after watching these lives and I was like, uh, is this community has lost their freaking mind.
You know, Laura's going to say that we're attacking her. Well, why can't we stand up for what we believe in? Why can't we stand up for what we think is right? Why is it that you can go live and talk all this shit about people, but we can't say anything in retaliation or to stick up for
No.
someone?
Her words are, if you put it out on YouTube, it's fair game. So
I like Randy. So therefore, I'm going to stick up for her.
well,
That's all there is to it.
and to me, this isn't even defending Randy. This is more like Laura did something horrible. She pretends the whole community turned against her because of it. No, she lost some Patreons because they looked at her and said, well, you're horrible. That's not Randy's fault. Laura does something horrible and then it gets swept under the rug. It gets swept right under the rug. Just like her plan to tell all of YouTube that she was gonna overdose or commit suicide or whatever. That's caught on tape. Someone caught that on tape and she lied about it and swept it right under the rug.
Speaking of which, Laura wants to say that, you know, calls were taken out of her Discord and she's blaming that on me. No, Laura, it was given to me. I just want to
Exactly.
put it out there. I just put it out. That's it. It's not me in there. But if you're going to sit there and whine and complain about things you've said, maybe you shouldn't say those kind of things. Maybe you shouldn't trash people. Maybe you shouldn't, you know, sit there and make up a plan that you're going to commit suicide. And don't say you was just kidding. I've got the recording. You meant every word of that. You was plotting to actually, you know, make a big deal about committing suicide.
I agree, Yarnfield crew. People are still going to support Laura no matter what you say. People like her. You can't change that.
Well, we
This is
don't want to
YouTube.
change that. We just
I
want to
don't
call
care who supports her, but she doesn't have any problem calling everybody in this community out for shit that's none of her business. So maybe she needs a taste of her own medicine. I'm so sick of her saying, they've been coming at me for 18 months, as if she never, ever does anything to deserve what she gets in return. As if she never, ever she just never says anything horrible. She didn't scream out about raping a woman. She just never, Laura never does anything horrible. She's always the victim. But she's always the victim of her own bullshit.
She is a master manipulator. And that is what she's doing to her people. She's manipulating them. She's lying to them. She's conning them. To sit there and cry last night and say that you're the victim, you're the scapegoat in all this is complete bullshit. Wake up and realize that this had nothing to do with Laura. Laura wasn't in the middle of all this. Laura created all this because of a tweet she tweeted out. And now, since she got a little bit of hate for that, she's retaliating on Randy. She has never liked Randy, so she took the opportunity to believe the bunk ass shit that FOD told her, and she ran with it. There's no proof that Randy said that. Where's the proof, FOD?
Yarnfield crew, I like you, Tracy, but this is not getting anywhere. Okay, I agree. I don't expect anybody to unsub Laura or not to like Laura. But Laura's not the only one in this community that has the right to call people out for bad behavior. And then not only does she try to call people out for bad behavior, but she twists it as if she had nothing to do with it.
She makes fun of people's looks all the time. Why is that okay? She talks about other people's business, but we can't talk about what she talks about.
I mean, like you
Explain
said,
that.
Yarnfield crew, it's YouTube. And I'm not getting shitty with you at all, but it's YouTube. And I don't care about Laura's subs. I mean, not that I don't care, but you know what I mean. Her subs liking her or giving her money or whatever, it doesn't affect me. I mean, it
None
doesn't
of us
change.
are trying to make anyone unsub from Laura. We're just calling out what we don't believe. Oh God, I don't even know. Nobody's trying to jeopardize or ruin her business, like she calls it. Nobody's wanting people to unsub from her. But if she's going to put it out on a public forum, we have the right to critique what she says, especially when we don't think it's true.
I've got big balls. Come on, don't fight with people in the chat, okay? Just block each other or whatever. Like I said, I don't understand. I wake up and Laura's crying because she sent some shitty tweets out and she's somehow the victim of these tweets. And she wants to believe FOD, who just a week ago she was calling a fraud. And then she wants to say that Randy's over there crying, collecting super chats when she's sitting there doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, so explain that. Why is Randy such a bad person? Because she was crying on panel. But you're doing the same thing, but it's okay if you do it, right, Laura? Explain that. Especially since Randy's crying because this has been brought up again. You opened a can of worms again just because you wanted to go at Randy. And this was all because you sent out those tweets. Randy didn't say this. You did. If someone said that about your parent that passed away, I guarantee you would have flipped out too. You would have cried. You would have been upset. But you want
Yeah,
to
of
take the
course.
word of a complete sociopath that is known to lie.
Hell, she made me cry by attacking my son. That'll never happen again, Laura. There's nothing you can say that will ever make me cry again. But she's the one that did a live stream about, oh, people just get up on their panels and they cry and they get super chats. And do we have to go pull up that live stream too, Laura? And then you turn around and do the same damn thing, except you don't have any reason to be crying. No one attacked you.
Laura wants to be in control of everyone. When someone leaves her super chat or leaves her membership or whatever, she will attack them. When anyone leaves her Patreon, she will attack them. And that's a fact. There's been people that have left her Patreon that Laura now hates, and she will attack them. So when Laura sits there and says, I don't go after my ex Patreons, yes, she does.
Yarnfield Cruz. So, Sarah, I remember it was Randy, the one speaking on Laura week after week with Diane and Wendy. Laura did not even speak on Randy.
Oh,
Wrong.
can you give me some receipts on that?
Sorry, Yarnfield. That's not the case. Did they go back and forth with each other? They did. They did it for a long time. They did it for months. Laura responds. So
she
what?
responds. How is she the victim in all this? Please explain that to me. Laura was the one that went live about this FOD and Randy situation last night. So how is Laura the victim? She's the one that went live about it. It had nothing to do with her. Not one thing. But she's the scapegoat and she's the victim. How? Yarnfield, please explain that to me. How? There's no proof that Randy said that to FOD. No proof whatsoever.
No, none at all. And like I said, after saying, just the other day how big of a liar FOD is, now all of a sudden she's going to take this little bitty smidget to, all of a sudden she believes her. Now FOD's the the end all of all.
Act 274, you're absolutely right. Laura is the one that made the comments about Randy's mother. Period. That is where all of this began. So Laura is no victim. She's the one that created this. She's the one that made the statement. Laura's just bent because it was put on YouTube for people to see. And sorry, I put it out there. I have no shame in that. I thought it was wrong because I have a parent that is deceased, you see. And so that affects me. If you're going to sit there and say someone, the wrong person committed suicide, yeah, that bothers me because my mom committed suicide. So yeah, I'm going to feel some type of way about it. Especially since I'm somewhat friends with Randy.
Yarnfield Crew, can I ask you a question, an honest question? Do you really think that Laura only responds to people? Do you really believe that? Because if so, I would like for you to take a few minutes and go back to her videos for the last, I don't know, 2 years. If you really believe that Laura only responds to people. Hey, Eric. Okay, well, we're going to start getting trolled, but that's okay. I know how to hit the black button.
Well, it's just another view. Fuck them. I'm so mad. How can you sit there and say Laura's a victim? What is she a victim of? In this situation, how is she a victim? How was she a scapegoat? She's the one that started it. She's the one that tweeted that shit.
I don't know. Yeah, it is called manufacturing drama. That's exactly what it is. I just don't know how Laura expects Randy to come over to her panel and somehow apologize to her for tweets that Laura put out there in the universe. How does that make sense?
Laura absolutely attacks people, TL Hodge. She's the one that went live about Randy last night based off of gossip, based off of something that she supposedly said to FOD. So Laura is playing a chess game. This was her next move. This was her way of getting back at Randy. And why is she even attacking Randy? Randy didn't say that about her parent. It takes a pretty trashy person to sit there and say the wrong person committed suicide. That is pure trash.
But somehow Laura's the victim of those words. I don't understand this. I really am baffled by what was done last night. And FOD, I'm sorry, you're a freak.
You know,
Everybody is on to you. You're a
everybody's so worried.
manipulating, you've been jolted, you're just a freak.
Everyone's so worried about Laura being hurt, being victimized. Did anyone ever stop to think how Randy's feeling about this? How this could be upsetting Randy? How this could be hurting Randy? How this could be bringing up old memories that she doesn't need to be thinking about? When you sit there and make a comment about someone's parent in suicide, that's so wrong. Why is anybody even discussing Randy's parent? Why is anybody even discussing the wrong person committed suicide? That is so low. That is trashy.
I don't know. And I don't know how Laura ends up being the victim. And then everybody says Laura only responds. No, Laura digs up shit to talk about. Even if she has to go into another community, she digs up shit to talk about.
It's a vicious cycle. None of this would be happening today if Laura hadn't have gone live last night. Laura's the one that went live, causing Randy to go live because Randy was hurt. And then we go live today. It's a snowball effect. So no, Laura's the one that did this, not anyone else. She's not a victim. Actually, Randy is the victim.
Like I said, exactly, Rosewater. Laura's a victim of her own self, self-inflicted. Yes. Fod, how many relationships are you going to try to bust up before you finally give up and just stick with your people over there? Because it seems to me that anybody that has anything to do with Randy, you try to manipulate.
FOD knows the psychology behind people's minds.
She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. And then she knew by saying what she said, she does need to get a restraining order. But she knew by what she said about Randy was going to set Laura, was going to put Laura over the edge.
It's divide and conquer. It's all mind games. And then if you go and talk about it, you're the bad guy. Why isn't anybody pointing out that FOD should show receipts? Isn't this community about receipts? Where's
No,
the
I'm not
receipts?
blaming Laura. Hold on, Sarah. Mysterious one. So you're blaming Laura for having to do your own live on it this morning? That's hypocritical. No, I'm not blaming Laura at all. Not at all. There would be nobody talking about it if Laura hadn't have pulled her stunt last night. And to be honest with you, it's kind of funny because people actually said in her chat and believe this bullshit.
It's whatever fits Laura's narrative. You know, if anybody says something against her, she wants receipts. Why didn't she want receipts from what FOD said? Why is she just going to take her word for that? Because that's a pretty big statement to say that Randy wasn't genuine. She wasn't really crying over this. It didn't really affect her. That is such bullshit. Of course, FOD is going to say this because FOD and Randy are no longer friends. FOD is going on full attack.
I've got big balls. Why don't you ladies find other people to call out? There's plenty of shit people in this community. Well, I've got big balls. I'll tell you what. Nobody makes quite the fool out of themselves as Laura does. She makes it too easy. Exactly. I'm not the one who claimed that I had to go live because her people are paying me to go live. As a matter of fact, when I get off this live, there'll be a couple of my people saying, don't do that. Don't go tit for tat. But this isn't tit for tat. This is insanity. You know, it's crazy to expect
Big
Randy
balls,
to.
where's the proof that FOD isn't lying? Show the
Yeah,
proof that
exactly.
Randy said this.
You want to come up? I've got big balls because you kind of sound like FOD.
Look at the pattern of FOD's behavior with women in this community. Look what she did to Sam Telfer. Look what she did to Aaron F. Look what she did to this other woman. I can't think of the other woman's name offhand, but she has a pattern of doing this. Once she doesn't get her way, or once somebody isn't submissive to her needs and wants. Randy has come out and stated many times that there was no love relationship, that there was no sexual relationship. And FOD cannot handle rejection. So this is her way of going on the attack.
Okay, Easy says, I don't know what to believe at this point, to be honest. Okay, Easy, I get that. I really do. But at this point, I don't even care about what goes on behind the scenes with Randy and Fod. I really don't.
Yeah, it was one love.
This was, you know, this was something that didn't happen, that Laura. How can people not see what I'm trying to say? Am I not getting the point across? Laura really expects an apology for the horrible words she put out there. She expects Randy to somehow come to her like an adult woman, come to her. Well, if Laura was an adult woman, she would have never put those disgusting tweets out to begin with. But let's just sweep that under the rug, because that's what happens. It just gets swept under the rug. Everything Laura does, she says the whole community come at me like that's Randy's fault. No. If the whole community did come at you, it was because of your words.
In your own actions.
Laura, you have just as big a following or bigger than Randy. So for you to sit there and say that the whole community came at you because of Randy.
People came
Exactly.
at you because they wanted to come at you. Randy didn't send anyone after you or to attack you.
And this really has nothing to do with Randy and Fod as far as their relationship or fight. This is about Laura trying to use to excuse her own actions and put the blame on Randy. That's exactly
Amen.
right. I told Randy a long time ago how I felt about Fod. And I still feel I have my opinion hasn't changed about the woman.
Oh, please explain. I've got big balls. What did Randy say that was so horrible about Laura?
Yeah, exactly, big balls. What did Randy say that that equates to anything that Laura said about Randy? Did Randy say something about her deceased parent? Did Randy say anything about her children? What did Randy say that equates to what Laura put out in the universe?
Okay, Yarnfield, what did Randy say? I'm drawing a blank. I have no idea what Randy said. Can you fill us in a little?
I've got big balls. I give up. You ladies need to find hobbies. Well, so do you. Because your hobby is obviously going into streams and talking on shit you have no idea. And I
Oh,
would
crap.
think if you got a name like I've got big balls, that you're probably a gentleman and maybe you should find a hobby. Bye, big balls. Have a great day.
Why is it that Laura can go live discussing whatever and we're expected not to say anything? We're not supposed to give our opinions? Why is it that she can do whatever she wants, but if we give an opinion, we're these horrible, awful people because we're going at Laura? No one's going at Laura. We're giving our opinions on the situation. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
right.
remember that. I remember the love videos between Fod and Laura. But see, Fod and Laura doesn't believe a word Fod says until yesterday. Now all of a sudden, Fod's telling the truth. Laura's done live after live after live about what a fraud Fod is. But now all of a sudden she's telling the truth because it fits Laura's narrative. Because it fits her narrative. You know, just go back a couple videos and you'll see where Laura's calling Fod a fraud.
No one's going to
Now,
stop me from talking about what I
me
believe in.
neither.
It's just not going to happen. Laura can say whatever she wants about me. It's never going to stop me because I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, just like she does. Now, if I'm lying, call me out for it. You know, if I'm saying something that is not nice, call me out for it. Why can't we do the same to Laura?
I don't know.
Why is
I
Laura
don't know
always the
why everybody
perpetual
thinks
victim?
Laura is off limits and that she only claps back. That is such bullshit. I wish Yarn-Filled Crew would go back and look at Laura's videos. They are not clapbacks. You
How
can't
was
reason
last night's live a
you
clapback?
can't reason with people who have a clear hatred for Laura. Okay, first of all, I don't hate anybody on here, but we can't reason with people who have a clear love for Laura, who think she does no wrong.
And I'm not up here trying to change anyone's opinion on Laura. I'm up here because of how I feel about Laura. I'm not trying to change anyone's view. I'm just giving my opinions, my observations, and there is nothing at all wrong with that. This is YouTube. We're allowed to do that.
Yarn-Filled Crew, do you sit in Laura's chat and say the same thing to her? Because that's what I find. I find that people come over here to defend Laura, but the same people are sitting in Laura's chat and she says the most disgusting things about people in the community. Well, I don't know what could make you all of a sudden start liking her, but that doesn't matter to me that you used to not like her. Exactly. We can't reason with someone who finds no fault in what Laura has done.
And that's their right.
Yep.
But we have the right to discuss what we want to discuss too. And if we feel a certain way about someone, we have every right to discuss that. This is a public forum. People go live to talk about their feelings on something, their views on someone, their opinions. We have that right.
Yeah, I know, Ballet Bay. People in along the Louisiana coast need to prepare because it's supposed to remain a Cat 3. So most of the hurricanes are spinning in the Gulf this year. But like I said, I woke up and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is Laura crying about her own words And then she's crying about Randy getting super chats because Randy's upset while Laura's rolling in super chats. And Randy was the victim from the get-go when it comes to these tweets. Yarnfield crew, can you honestly say you can back those tweets that Laura sent out? Can you honestly say that you can back those? Because this is where the real hatred began. Before that, it was nitpicking bullshit, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But then when those tweets got sent out, that's where it got really, really ugly. And to be honest with you, Randy took it better than I would have. Because Randy didn't do anything but just do an old-fashioned drama drag on her. Nothing hurtful, nothing about her deceased father, nothing about, you know.
Randy had every right to go live last night. She was being talked about on a panel. So why didn't Randy have the right to go live? She was hurt and upset that this is being brought up again, and that Laura's running with something that supposedly she did or said. I want to see proof that Randy said that, because I don't believe it.
Okay, that's fine, Yarnfield crew, that you still like Laura. I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But
Yarnfield
how
crew,
this can all go ahead, Sarah.
would you be upset if someone made a tweet about your family member and said the wrong person committed suicide? Would that upset you? Would that hurt you? Especially if it was your own mother. Wouldn't you be upset about that?
I don't get it. You know, how anybody can think that Laura's the victim here is beyond me. And
Please explain
Fod,
to me how Randy and FOD brought this all back up, Yarnfield crew. Please explain that. Because I'm pretty sure that Randy never said anything about this tweet.
okay, let's say that Randy and Fod brought this all back up. Let's just say that. Let's go with Yarnfield crew. Do you really feel like Laura is the victim in the Randy and Fod situation? Do you feel like that Laura is somehow the victim? Okay, you got to go, mysterious one, because you came in being a bitch right off the bat. So,
You know, and if anybody wants to say that I'm sticking my nose into this business, hell yeah, I am. I sat there and watched my mom commit suicide. So yeah, I'm a little, I feel some type of way about this. When you make a comment like that, I'm absolutely going to give my opinions on it. And I don't give a damn what you think, Laura.
yeah, I really want to hear from Yarnfield how Laura became the victim last night. Of course, she talked about the tweet last night. The whole thing was about the damn tweet because Fod tells Laura that Randy didn't really get hurt over the tweet. And Laura thinks that because the community didn't agree with her tweets, that somehow she's the victim because people can matter about her own nasty words. But Fod is supposed to be believed that Randy didn't have any feelings about what was said. But that's supposed to be believed. So yeah, Laura did talk about the tweets. And she said many a time, she doesn't regret what she said.
You know, I've sat there and I've seen my mom overdose. I've seen my mom die. So it hurt me that Laura would say that about Randy, because I know what Randy is feeling. I know how upset this would make her. I've lived it. So yeah, I feel really bad for what Randy's going through, because I know for a fact that Randy, those tears were genuine. The hurt was genuine. And for Laura to say this was all for super chat money is bullshit.
We have all said vile things. We have. Okay, but what we all haven't done is get on a panel and cry about the vile things that we said, never making an apology for it, but somehow making ourselves a victim of the vile things we said. Do you understand what I'm saying, Yarnfield? I have no idea why Randy took her live down from last night. I have no idea.
Maybe because it's her channel and she wanted to take it down. If it was all about views, she would have probably left it up. But she didn't. She took it down. Obviously, this isn't all about the views because it was taken down. Randy is genuinely hurt over this.
No, they didn't get far, Casey. Yeah, I agree with that, Ash 274. We have said some mean things, but I can promise you that I have never, Randy has never, none of the people I hang around went to the level of telling someone the wrong one killed themselves. And
Those
then
are
to
hurtful
expect
words.
and then to expect apologies.
How arrogant do you have to be to sit there and say that you're a victim and that Randy should come over there and apologize to you? You should be apologizing to Randy. You brought this up last night. You opened this can of worms. This is your fault. Take it like a real woman and own up to it, Laura. And you apologize to Randy. Randy doesn't owe you shit.
Randy took it down because she is shady. Okay, Yarnfield crew, do you want to take a link and come up and tell us how Randy is shady? But remember, when you tell us how Randy is shady, we're going to show you instances where Laura is shadier. Okay? Randy is live explaining why she took it down. Go over and check it out. Sick of the ass kissers. Me too. I don't know why Laura would think she deserves any kind of apology for the words that she put out in the universe. And FOD needs to stop.
Just let it go. Why do you have to continuously go live after live talking about Randy? And that's all it's been since FOD has been back. And Laura went on her little vacation or whatever, and things were calm. What did Laura do? The first second she got home, she talks about Randy and FOD.
Because her people paid her to. Now, I can't imagine her people going to her and saying, Laura, I'll give you money if you talk about Randy and FOD. And if my people, when I say my people, I don't even like that term, but my Patreons or people in my Discord said, we'll give you money if you go on and talk about somebody.
Randy is far from trash, but you want to know what trash is? Saying the wrong person committed suicide. Only a trashy person would say that. Somebody with class would never say that about someone, because they wouldn't want to hurt that person.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's zero sympathy, empathy. Oh, God. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk until I'm blue in the face. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind about Laura. If you like Laura, you go ahead and love her until the sun don't shine. But what I'm saying is that I have an opinion. I'm going to talk about what I believe in. I'm going to talk about things that affect me. As a subscriber of Randy, that affected me because I seen her hurt. I seen her pain. So Yarnfield crew, you're in here and you're vouching for Laura. Well, I'm here vouching for Randy. The only difference between me and you is that I'm up on a panel.
Well, like I said, I don't understand how Laura somehow becomes the victim. And then it's all swept under the rug until Laura wants to drag it back out. Just like her suicide comment. And Laura, you can deny it all you want, but it's out there. I don't know who put it out there. I don't care who put it out there, but it's out there. And you basically lied to your subscribers saying that you never said it. How do subscribers not
I've got
see?
the recording. I have
Of
got
course.
that recording. Deny it, Laura. I will post it. I said I was done doing little videos. I'll post that one if you try to deny it.
I've got big balls. You're not trying to convince anyone. So what are you doing, Sarah?
I'm
I've got
giving
big
my
balls.
opinion.
Exactly. This is YouTube. Everybody goes on their panel and gives their opinion about something. So what is the problem? Just blame 180. Okay, 180's to blame. 180 actually called this shit a long time ago. And with that, I'm gonna let that go. But 180 actually called this shit quite a while ago. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Orchestrated drama.
Yeah, I'll take the L on that one, 180.
You know, a lot of people doesn't give 180 credit, but he's pretty smart.
I don't know. Like I said, I have the right. Sarah has the right. Everyone has the right to go on their own panels and have an opinion, just like Laura does on a daily freaking basis. So
go to Laura's channel and look at all of her lives. It's always bitching about someone. Always.
hell,
She's
just look
always
at some of her
calling someone
titles.
out. Yeah, exactly. She's always calling someone out. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be about Diane. It's going to be about Wendy. It's going to be about Randy. So explain to me how this is Randy's fault.
Hell, at one point she had a thumbnail of somebody sticking a needle in their arm just to come at me, and my son. She took it down because she caught heat over it. But that was the thumbnail to her video, to her live stream. So if you don't think Laura can go low, and I mean lower than low, and you still want to support that Yarnfield, that's your business.
I've still got a screenshot of that live.
Oh, I do too. That was her thumbnail to come at me and my son.
You know, there's a lot of people that's affected by suicide. There's a lot of people that's affected by drug addiction in this community. We have every right to critique what those people say. We have every right to give our opinions. Just because it's Laura doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
You're
Because
trying to
we are
convince
subs.
Yarnfield crew. No, I'm not trying to convince her of anything. I mean, to me, common sense tells you what's right and what's wrong. And if you don't have the common sense to see that Laura put very vile words out there and then she somehow flipped it, that she's the victim of her own words.
Hey, sorry, I gotta tell my husband something.
Then I give up on it. I give up. But I do have the right to come on my panel and speak. And I'm going to continue. Yeah, Yarnfield is attempting to do the same thing. She's coming, she's in here trying to tell us, you know, about Laura. And she's entitled to do that. She's very much entitled to do that. Hey, Ems. But I don't understand. I swear I don't understand how people don't see through this crap. I mean, if you don't see what FOD is attempting to do, which is to turn everyone, AMs, to turn everyone she can against Randy. That's her plot. That's her plan.
She tried to do the same thing with Aaron F. She succeeded, really, because a lot of people said some pretty bad things about Aaron. Aaron F isn't even on YouTube as far as I know.
Right.
That's
Casey.
not going to happen with Randy. Randy's not going anywhere. None of us are going anywhere, but we do have the right to talk about what we want. We have the right to talk about our opinions based on things that were said on a public forum, period.
Just as Laura does. Laura has the right to get on her panel and discuss anybody and anything. But that is not exclusive to Laura.
Laura's got a pretty big following. So yeah, people are going to critique what she says. She's going to have people that dislike what she says. There's so many bigger creators that have people that critique and debunk what they say. Look what happened to Shane Dawson.
Listen to FOD say, try to come between Starlight and Randy's friendship. That's FOD's way. That's what she does. So you're really going to believe her, Laura, when you know her MO is to try to come between.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah. You're really going to believe that, Laura? That Randy had no feelings at all about what you said about her mother? And then you're going to sit and cry that you're somehow the victim of this?
The only thing I can say that Laura is a victim of is the fact that FOD went and told her this psycho garbage babble that Randy wasn't sincere about crying over this, that it was all just for super chats or PayPals. That is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard. And I would like FOD to prove that Randy said that. And why aren't people asking for receipts? Why are people just taking this word as facts?
I've got Big Ball says the difference is she doesn't speak on the same person every time she goes live. You ladies lived your lives to destroy her, it seems. Do you feel good about that?
I just went live a few days ago and it had nothing to do with Laura. There's been a few times I've gone live and I don't even mention her. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't know that because you don't like me, because I do go against Laura when she says certain things, right?
Trust me, I've got Big Balls is really showing who they are right now.
I don't like Laura because of things she has done to people. I don't like how she treated me. I don't like how she treated Tracy. I don't like how she treated Tawanda. I don't like the things she said about Galway Girl. And I definitely don't like the things she has said about Randy. So I absolutely will go live and voice my opinions on it. And if you want to unsubscribe from me or not watch me because of it, that's fine. Because there are people that do genuinely care about what I say. And I absolutely appreciate that, because I'm not sitting here lying, trying to ruin someone else. I am not trying to ruin Randy. I am not trying to ruin FOD. I'm just calling them out for the stupid shit they say and do.
Yep. And if you think the only thing I talk about is Laura, go back and watch my couple lives. Actually, I think the last one I might have talked about FOD because she's a freak. And she can't keep my name out of her mouth. And everybody's on to what you're doing, FOD. Everybody is on to you. And if they're not on to you, they will be on to you soon.
I've got big balls. I just went live talking about addictions. What are you talking about? I do not talk about Laura in all of my lives.
And don't forget, she called me an effing derelict. I know she calls. Well, the last I heard, she was going to smash my face in. I don't know. Or put a foot in my face or something. I don't know what she said. I don't care. I pay no attention to that woman other than the fact that she is causing a very big divide. And we don't need any more of a divide.
And big balls, if I want to talk about Laura, I will talk about her.
Casey, good point. Luckily, you don't have to be convinced in order to be informed. They're informing people of someone's behavior. What people decide to do with that information is completely up to them. That is true. Okay, have a good day, Yarnfield.
You know, I'm not sitting here trying to get people to end their memberships with her. I'm not sitting here trying to get people to leave her. I'm not
Hey,
doing
I've got
it.
big balls. Says at Casey, why is it their job to inform anyone? Why not let people see for themselves? Why is it Laura's job to inform anyone about anybody in this community?
Why did Laura feel the need to go live and say that Randy is a liar based on something the FOD said? Where's the proof? This community is so big on receipts and proof. Why isn't there proof on this? Why did FOD say, you're just going to have to take my word? You've been known to lie, so why should anybody take your word? FOD has genuinely hurt people in this community. Why take her word now? Oh, because she's entertaining, she's fun, she's funny.
Hello, Mandolin. Like I said, anybody that can possibly believe BS people, why can't we just ignore? Well, that would be nice if the community could just ignore everyone, but that's not how it goes. Laura seems to throw my name in about every live she does. She might just throw it in there for a second, but yes.
Why didn't
God's word
Laura
is
just
trash.
ignore? Why didn't she just ignore? Why didn't she
Exactly.
say, FOD, show me some proof before I go live about this? If we are supposed to just ignore, why can't she just ignore? Why did she feel the need to insert herself, calling herself a scapegoat and victim?
I've never seen Laura do that. You ladies hate her and try to destroy her every day.
I
Your
don't hate
lives on here
anyone.
are controlled by it. She takes a lot of space up in your head. Okay, I've got big balls. Either get on panel or go ahead and go away like you were going to. Because nobody is trying to destroy Laura. Just because somebody calls her out for her bullshit doesn't mean that they're trying to destroy Laura. It's not my fault that Laura makes it so damn easy because of the dumb shit she says and does. That's not my fault. That's not Sarah's fault.
She mentions us also, big balls. She mentioned my name last night.
Go away, don't leave. Are you saying bye to big balls? Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
She throws people's names out there all of the time.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Until big balls can come up on panel and explain their point of view, then they can just sit in the corner and eat a cookie.
Go play with your big balls, big balls.
Good morning, Monkey Mar. But once again, Sarah, not allowed to speak on the community and what's going on in it. Only certain people can do that. You know, Why is Randy and Fod's relationship? Why is that YouTube fodder for Laura just what, 2 days ago or whenever she got back from her trip? Why was that? Why is that okay for Laura to just strike up a live stream and talk about Randy and Fod, but it's not
Mommy of
okay
three
for
girls, you are
anybody
so
else?
right.
It's not
No,
okay for anybody else to strike up a live stream and talk about what's going on in the community. Talk about the bullshit.
no one's deceased parent should ever be brought up, especially like that. That was wrong. That was hurtful. And it affects other people because they've lived through that too. And if you want to say that I'm white knighting for Randy, I absolutely am. Because I feel bad for what she has gone through. I feel bad that someone decided to make a tweet saying that the wrong person committed suicide. That is hurtful.
But how many people went to Laura just 3 days ago when she came back off of her vacay and decided just to go live over Randy and Fod just for no reason? Just to have something to talk about. How many people went over there and said, Laura, why are you doing this? Oh, that's right. Her people paid her to talk about Randy and Fod. I forgot. I totally forgot. Yeah, you're right, Casey. That's a funny comment coming from somebody who probably sits in Laura's chat. And if you say boo, you get blocked or timed out. I'm already blocked. I don't care. I don't go in her chat. I got something to say about Laura, I'll say it over here. Just like if Laura's got something to say about somebody, she says it on her panel. And then she expects people to come over and bow down to her on her own panel. For her to think that Randy owes her a freaking apology for anything is laughable, is nothing short of insanity.
Yes, Diane, she made it about herself. It had nothing to do with her, but she's claiming that she's a victim and that she's a scapegoat. She's absolutely no scapegoat. She's the one that brought this on to herself. She opened a can of worms.
Casey, I know you have. Yeah, I don't know why she had a breakdown because she says that she's the victim of the tweets. She says she's the victim of the tweets that she put out. Yes, the tweets were planned. She was told how wrong it was before she put them. Well, I don't know why Randy would ever apologize to her. I don't get that. Why would Laura even think Randy owes her an apology?
Laura owes Randy an apology for those tweets. Laura owes Randy an apology for going off of some speculation that Fod said. There's no proof that Randy ever said that to Fod, but Laura is taking it as gold. Explain that.
Fod told Laura that Randy didn't get upset over those tweets. And then Laura turned it around because she's the victim now because the community came at her for those tweets.
Her
But
business was
according to
affected.
Fod, because Randy didn't take them serious, now Laura's the victim. That's how that went down. I don't know how
Randy
more
was
simply.
genuinely hurt by those tweets. Who wouldn't be? If your parent
Exactly.
committed suicide and somebody that you don't even know is tweeting about it, yeah, you're going to be hurt by that.
Yep. Maybe Laura's just going through, menopause or something. But don't sit there and break down crying on a stream and saying you're the victim because you're only the victim of your own words, Laura. Yeah, I heard Laura say she believed FOD 100%. I don't know. Serendipity and the Truth likes to be instigators. No, Serendipity and the Truth go on their panels and talk about whatever they want to talk about. BS people.
If you don't want something being talked about, don't go on a panel discussing it. It's a public forum. People are going to have opinions on it, and we're allowed to voice those opinions. You know,
Yeah,
we are
wasn't it?
subs to these people. So if we want to sit on a panel and talk about things, we have every right. Just like Laura did last night. Why does she have the right to say something, but we don't? Explain
Okay.
that one.
Okay, BS people, you're not going to start trouble in the chat, okay? It's just not going to happen. You're not going to derail this chat. If you have an opinion, that's fine. But you're not going to start derailing the chat with bullshit. And that's probably what your name stands for. But
Laura gives her opinions on people all the time. Why can't we?
exactly. Now, my whole comment section will be flooded with Laura's people saying I'm obsessed and blah, blah, blah. They never tell Laura that.
Nope. Because Laura's the perpetual victim.
I've been picked on for 18 months straight.
Yeah, she said 18, 19, 20 months. Are you kidding me right now? She's holding on to all this shit. She's the one that's bringing it all back up. If it wouldn't be brought up, nobody would be talking about it. It's a snowball effect. When you say something, people are going to react to it.
Bad Wolf, I saw you in there trying to convince her of that. Bad Wolf says Laura said last night her Patreon combos was private and it was wrong. Well, she read Diane's Discord in a chat and would love access to Diane's Discord. She didn't highlight that comment last night, by the way. I saw
Yeah, I
you
saw
in
that.
there, Bad Wolf. Well, she keeps saying that you've been going at her for 18 months, Diane. I don't know.
She even said Randy has been going at her for 18 months. That is such a cop-out bullshit lie. Randy hasn't even known her for 18 months.
I mean, I just don't understand how you cannot, I mean, how you can even take Laura serious. She sits there and says that the lowest thing you can do is to show private conversations because she didn't like my community post about a private conversation she had with somebody about me. And in the very same live or the very next night, she shows private conversations between Randy and Savage. The very next night or the very same live, she shows private text between Randy and I believe Savage. But has a video or has a live stream saying that she will never go so low as to show private stuff.
I made a
In
video
the
about
very
that.
same live, Makeup Mobster says to her, come on, don't leave us hanging. And Laura shows the conversation.
You know, I've never lied about Laura. I've always used her words and I've always given my opinions on things. When I used to make videos of Laura, they were always about her own words. And I would put her own words in my videos.
Oh, I don't know why Bodie Blue was timed out. Maybe it was an accident.
None of us have lied on Laura like Laura likes to claim that we lie. I'd like to see one lie I've ever told on Laura. It's never happened. I've always used her own words, and that's why she can't stand me.
I didn't even see her comment, so maybe it was an accident. I don't know. Yeah, because the trolls are coming. The trolls are coming in, and it's hard not to hit somebody's name that you're not aiming for. I'm just disgusted that she knew what she was doing and then switched it all up to be the broken scapegoat. I'm I'm with you, Diane. I'm with you. I don't know how she pulled that off, but she did it. She did it. So, got to give her some kudos. Anybody that's able to pull off what Laura pulled off last night has got some sort of talent in manipulation.
She's a narcissist, and I know people hate that word being brought up, but it's true. Laura's always the victim. She can never do anything wrong. All
It
of
was
her
an
exes
accident,
were
Bodie Blue.
narcissists.
That's
Not her,
okay,
though.
Dee Dee. You're
Nothing's
trying to
ever
deal
Laura's
with a lot
fault.
of trolls. I don't know. Like I said, I watched it. I was like, this can't be happening. This cannot be happening. Laura and them on her panel talking about Randy. Can we please not forget how she planned that tweet? I know, because I know at least two people that she was close to at the time told her, don't put that out there. Don't, that's not going to show you in a very nice light. I agree, Pixie. But somehow or another, Laura ends up the victim again. So, congratulations. And Fod, you know how I feel about you. I think you are a freaking sociopath. I think you need help. And I think the people sitting in your chat rooting you on is just feeding your ego, feeding what you need.
You know, if you're not one of FOD's people, they call you a dumb donkey. But if you like them, they'll praise you.
Just
How
for
many
you.
times is FOD made videos about liking Laura, and then Laura says something that FOD doesn't like, and then Laura becomes a dumb donkey?
I'm looking just for you. I can't find your previous comment, but I can see the one you just wrote. I've seen proof that she planned it. That's what Pixie said. But Laura doesn't even have the damn story right. Fod never said it was the tweets. It was the second time when Laura brought up old videos of Randy. See my previous comment if anyone cares. Well, I care, but I can't see your previous comment. I just don't understand how Laura turned out to be the victim in this situation when her tweets were so vile. And if you remember correctly, she's over there saying that the whole community came at her. No, those tweets after a couple live streams were swept under the rug. Nobody held her responsible for those.
And don't get it twisted that we just hate Laura. No, we don't. We actually believed in Laura. We gave Laura money. We went to bat for Laura, but we seen things we didn't agree with behind the scenes. I mean, we have every right to say things about someone we don't believe in or someone that has lied. I gave this woman money and I didn't
I
even know
didn't.
she had trashed my kid or my husband or my grandparents' home.
I don't know. Like I said, she just somehow or another, she turned this into Laura's the victim. And I'm still sitting here shaking my head. I'm going to go rewatch it again because I just don't understand how Laura ended up being the victim of all this. Because Fod said so?
Show the proof, Fod.
Exactly.
I've heard
But she'll
Laura
say it
say,
was a phone
show the
call.
proof or it didn't happen. I've heard Laura say that. Show the proof or it didn't happen. Fod didn't show you any proof, Laura, so why did it happen? You're so wishy-washy.
Fod
You
said
always want receipts,
it
but
was
you
the
don't want
second
receipts on
time.
this?
Randy's old video where she spoke about sometimes making joke about her mom's death. You know, humor But Laura's running with the fucking tweets. Okay, I see what you're saying just for you. Either way, Laura's not the victim here. And neither is Fod. And I'm going to go so far as to say, Randy, I can't even call you a victim at this point, only because until you get a restraining order against that freakazoid, you're going to keep getting what she's putting out there. Pretty sure her memberships went up after those tweets, and there was another truce made. If anything, she was rewarded. Exactly, Kat. Hey, y'all, I'd like to advertise my agreement with this live's title. Okay. Well, I don't know, Mandolin, because Claude does have her address. So she might be able to get some sort of restraining, not on YouTube, not about videos or stuff. But when someone has your address and they're this infatuated on you, then I don't know if you can or can't. I mean, she could definitely gather up enough people to prove what this woman does. It doesn't matter if Randy was upset or not over Laura's words.
And Mandolin, that's what Laura said last night. She said that there was a peace treaty with everyone. And then she said, well, I guess there isn't now. Oh, no, I stand corrected. Makeup Mobster said that. She said, well, I guess there isn't now.
I don't know. Let this be a lesson. If you're a dumb donkey supporter of Pod, look what she did to Randy in private combos. The joke is on her, supporters and friends. Wait till that Discord is released. Ooh, Bad Wolf knows something.
My
Bad
name's
Wolf knows
Bennett.
something.
I ain't in it.
I ain't in it either. I'm not even in Laura's Discord. I just have people that send me shit all the time. And I don't even put half of it up. So once again, please don't come to my comment section and tell me how wrong I am for talking about Laura, because she said, what? I want to see proof that, because I know for me, Ash, Marianne, and others, that never happened. We just dropped our swords and stopped. I don't know, Mandolin. You have to go back and listen to Laura's live.
I'll find it and send it to you, Amanda. Two tacos, yeah.
Peace treaties never work anyway, so. And I think it was Amber Kay the other day who even admitted she went in to join Laura's membership as nothing more than to troll her. But I think it was Amber Kay. Don't quote me on that. I want to say it was Amber Kay because she was on Diane's panel. Either way, everybody knew what they were doing when they went in there and joined Laura's membership. And, you know, for $1.99, maybe it was worth it. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't Discord anymore. FOD will release whatever Discord she's in. Fact. Well, that's going to get crazy there. Laura's convinced I'm in her Discord. I'm not. Like I said, people send me shit and I don't even post most of it. But when you get mentioned 577 times in somebody's Discord, yeah, talk about obsession. Sarah, anything more you want to add? And like I said, please, people, do not come into my comment section and start blasting me, because if you do, I'm going to remove your comment. Does anybody want to come on panel? Do they have anything they would like to add to this conversation? how this ended up that Laura became the victim? Can anyone explain that to me?
The only thing I'm going to say is that, Amanda, I'll find you that and I'll send it to you. I really don't have anything else to add. I'm not trying to ruin her empire. I'm not trying to ruin her business. I'm just calling her out for the shit she says and does. If she can do it, we can do it. And there is feelings involved. Just because it's YouTube does not mean we don't have feelings. Does not mean we don't have opinions, because we do. Words hurt. Period.
Thank you, Two Tacos. I dropped a link for Amanda Lynn or anybody else that wants to come up and try to explain to me how Laura and Fod are victims. Please. I'm all ears, I swear.
There's people in this community that I care about. So I'm absolutely going to go to bat for them and voice my opinions on things. I'm going to sit there and use people's words against them or their tweets, because that's what all of this is about, is the tweet Laura sent out about someone committing suicide or the wrong person committing suicide. Those words are hurtful. Laura should be ashamed for putting that out there. And how she's trying to be a scapegoat and victim is beyond my comprehension. I don't understand.
Hey.
Okay, so I know for me and the people that I am out with, there was no peace treaty. What happened was, it was just kind of like, oh, let's put our swords down, right? Like, nobody was like, hey, peace treaties never work. Ever, ever, ever. Like, they get broken the quickest. Because it comes down to, like, you can't say my name. That's impossible, like, especially when you're in a little community. But last night was a total deal breaker for me and a lot of people. Oh, sorry. Hold on one second. Let me get her drink. Hold on. Okay, sorry, it's nap time. But last night was like a deal breaker. You don't talk about somebody's mom. I haven't been in there a lot, anyways, me personally. But it was a deal breaker. You know, like as far as I won't be back in there. It doesn't matter to me what Randy did. That doesn't take away from what Laura did. Like,
Amen.
It doesn't matter her reaction to it. I don't care about that. That doesn't take away from the initial, you talked about her mom and tweets and then came on YouTube and did it.
Diane says you need to lower your mic just a bit, Amanda Lynn.
Oh, sorry. I always forget this one's so loud and I don't have time to change it. There. It should be better. Anna, can you see why?
So, like I said, if there's somebody in this chat that can come up here and explain to me how Laura ends up the victim of her own nasty tweets because of something that Fod said, who Laura just made a video about being a fraud. I mean, if anybody can explain it to me, all ears here.
I think she cried because she looked like an ass and she had no point. You know, no other way to go. It was, you have to cry kind of thing. That's my opinion. I guess in the beginning,
go to her and apologize.
But I don't understand why people have still been confused about it.
Can you hear Sarah, Amanda?
What?
Can you hear Sarah?
No, I can't. Is she talking right now?
Sarah,
No. I just wanted to come up and no, there was no peace treaty. I'm gonna jump down anyways, but I think she cried because she had to. That's my opinion. You guys, I'll be in the chat. I can't hear her.
Okay. Thanks for coming up. Bad Wolf, last night wouldn't have happened if Fod wasn't a snitch. So there's that. Hashtag jilted lover. Well, I don't know about jilted lovers or anything like that. What I know is, well, I don't know nothing because nobody still explained to me.
FOD wanted something more out of that friendship, and Randy was not willing to give her that. So FOD is gone on full-on attack on Randy. And she's going to say things about Randy. Ask FOD for proof before believing
Dave
her.
is live about Randy and Fod. I wonder if anybody's over in Dave's stream saying, this is none of your business. Why are you talking about it? Is anybody over in Dave's stream telling him that it's none of his business?
Oh, how convenient for Dave to be live about this.
Morning, Dova.
What's Dave going to do? Dox everyone again?
Yeah. Laura must be at work and picked up the phone and said, hey, Dave, they're talking about me. No, she probably didn't do that. I'm just being facetious. Like I said, I'm just waiting for one person to please explain to me how Laura ended up being the victim last night.
Laura knew she was wrong for what she said about the suicide comment. So now she's trying to minimize what she said and did by putting all of this onto Randy. And there's no proof Randy said that. But Laura 100% believes FOD. That's bullshit. People should ask for receipts. Ask for the proof before believing this bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah, and we all know FOD will do whatever she can to destroy Randy.
I'm so glad I never emailed with FOD. I'm so glad I've never talked to her outside of this.
I don't even talk to her inside this community. I don't go to her live streams. She makes videos about me and says she's going to, I don't know, put her foot in my face or whatever she said. I don't know. Bring it on, FOD. Bring it on, you little freak. But it's obvious what FOD's doing. She's trying to destroy people's relationships. Is that
destroy
really Pixie?
Their character?
Pixie, if you porn me, it's over, girl.
It's me.
Hey, babe.
Hi. Hey, I can't stay, but she started her live out saying how basically she couldn't believe that Randy did that live playing victim and this and that. Do you know how many times, do you guys remember how many times that she said she was gonna go live and put on the waterworks for everybody? Do you remember the time that she said, I'm gonna play my dad's song? Remember she said she started it out playing her dad's song because it'll help her cry.
Yeah, well, anybody that has to say, I'm really crying, these are real tears.
Yeah. And I mean, and then in general, I think Amanda said it, like someone said it, no matter what she said about Randy's mom, whether Randy cried, didn't cry, it doesn't matter what she said about her and did and continued to do. She did multiple things with that, and that was in that whole story goes deeper, and hopefully that'll come out soon too. But that it's just she's I don't know, if you can't see it, I don't know what it's gonna take.
Mommy of three girls is right. Laura doesn't believe FOD at all. I think she sees it as, wait a minute.
Yeah.
As a benefit and opportunity for herself. The end.
Yep.
You can't be a liar one day and then preach the gospel the next. That's just common sense. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. I don't know.
Johnny, I can't answer that. I'm not Randy. I mean, that's a question you're going to have to ask Randy.
I talked to Randy last night. I know how upset she was over this. She was freaking out that Laura went live over this. Why does Laura need to insert herself into everything? Why does Laura need to hurt Randy more by bringing all this shit back up?
Hey, Dova.
People need to think about Randy's feelings too, not just Laura's.
I've only got 2 words. Cha-ching. That's why it needed to be done.
Boy, I'm telling you what, if someone made a tweet about the wrong person committing suicide when it comes to my mom, you best believe I'll be at your doorstep.
Yeah, Randy's live. Go ask her. Which I'm going to wrap this up anyway. So if somebody's saying Randy is live. So, Johnny, if you want to know the answer to your question, excuse me, you're going to have to go ask Randy because I don't know. All I know is Laura comes back from a weekend vacation and does a live stream about Randy and Fod. So she immediately inserts herself into the situation. And now she's somehow the victim because she says she's been drugged into the situation.
No, she drugged people into the situation. That's what she did. And she planned the entire thing.
Well,
so wrong in so many ways.
You're a piece of shit for bringing up a deceased parent, saying that the wrong person committed suicide. I'm sorry. You are a piece of shit.
But it's okay. It's been 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Let's all move on. Like,
yeah.
We would have all moved on if Laura hadn't have brought this up last night. She opened a can of worms by this shit.
Oh, everyone moved on 2 days after it happened. Come on now.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
Swept under the rug. You know, there was never any apology from Laura, only to her own people if it offended them. And then she actually expected Randy to come over and apologize to her because she said she could go lower if she wanted to. So somehow or another, that meant Randy was supposed to come over to Laura's panel and say, I'm sorry, Laura, that I've pissed you off enough that you would tweet about my deceased mother. That's how that went down.
Laura, she also said the other night, Sarah, do you want me to go real life on you? Laura, I'm begging you. Please do.
I never told Nanny to move on about BSJ suicide comment. Unknown Capone. But nice of you to join us because we're just getting ready to wrap up. But we know that you're a big white knighter for Laura, and that's cool. But can you come up here on panel and explain how Laura is the victim here? Because I'm still not getting it. I think you paneled up before, didn't you, Capone?
Yeah, he's paneled up.
Well, I guess he probably won't with me. But that's neither here nor there. No one yet has been able to explain to me how Laura became the victim in this situation. And no one yet has explained to me how all of a sudden, 2 days ago, Fod was a fraud. Now,
in my opinion, if Randy did or didn't get upset, doesn't matter. Laura was still wrong. Exactly. So this isn't it exactly, Amanda. So just so people know, this isn't us just, rehashing it. She's the one who brought this up yesterday because I know that's how it's going to end up playing out.
And this is a public forum. We have the right to talk about it. Just like Laura has the right to talk about things. So do we.
Hi, Mojo. Hi, Dee Dee.
Hey, Jojo.
Dova, really quick, Dova, let Whiskey know I'm going to get in touch with her to do something fun.
Oh, guess what I found? Guess what I found? It's called, I think it's called like Dirty Minds. It's a card game where I read you guys clues and you all have to guess what I'm talking about. I got to get out and get it. I'm going to try to go to Walmart today and see if they have it. It's going to be so much fun. I swear, it's a cool little card game. I just found it. So, and I would love for Dova and Whiskey to join us.
Yeah.
I miss Whiskey. Where's she been?
Well, she just got tired of the bullshit.
F this place.
Yeah.
And walked away. No,
Whiskey always makes me smile.
Yeah, she'll come back and do fun stuff. She just doesn't like, this whole FOD stuff. It's just ridiculous to her. She, you invest so much time in it, and when people are like blind to a situation, it just gets frustrating,
Yeah, because Whiskey didn't fall for the FOD bullshit.
Neither did Dova.
Yeah, and then people didn't really want to talk to them that much because they didn't fall for the FOD bullshit.
They're my
FOD
girls.
is bullshit. Everything that comes out of her mouth is bullshit. So take it or leave it. Don't care. That's my opinion. It will remain my opinion. And until she proves she's not a freak, she will remain a freak.
And
in my opinion.
People need to ask for proof before they just go off of the word of someone, especially someone like FOD. Ask for the proof.
Yeah, but even if what FOD said was true, it doesn't take away from what Laura did.
Right.
Even if what FOD said was true, which I
Right.
don't believe, because I
Right.
don't believe somebody can say those words about your mother and you not be affected by it.
And like you said, even if it is true, two wrongs, don't make a right. Laura, do you know how many times she's done that? That's my point. Do you know how many times she has planned to go live and play victim? Like, for real, that I know for facts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, plane tickets are real cheap right now, Laura, if you're heading to Disney.
Disney money, honey.
Yeah, Disney money, honey. I was just looking at them because my son wants to come home for a couple weeks in between jobs. So they're really
Dova
cheap right
loves
now.
spankings and naps. What is going on?
What? Who said that?
Dova, please do. I love spankings and naps.
She's talking to me, so who knows?
All right, I gotta go, guys. School break is over.
Have a good day, darling.
I'm getting off here as well. I appreciate everybody that comes in. I appreciate the support. Patreons, we're gonna do something real soon. We'll talk about it in a meeting. I appreciate my new Patreons. I appreciate all my Patreons. Like I said, when somebody can explain how Laura is the victim in this, can you please either email me or go live and say, hey, come watch my live. And I'm going to explain to you how Laura is the victim here. Or if somebody can explain to me how FOD can continuously make videos about Randy, but Randy is somehow the obsessed one.
Can I just say I love Bad Wolf's comments, like everywhere.
I watched him in Laura's last night, and
he's so dead on.
He was not getting his comments pinned. Trust me.
He was dead on with everything he was saying. Seriously. All right, everybody, have a good day. I'll talk to you guys in a little. Okay. Bye, guys.
I'm gonna jump off here too, Truth. Thanks for having me up, and thanks for thanks for everything you do and always standing up for what you believe in is right. Thank you for that. Have a good day, everyone.
See ya. Like I said, guys, our next I'm gonna try to get out and get that game. It's called, hey Amber K, it's called Dirty Minds. And I read clues and you guys have to guess what I'm talking about. It's gonna be fun, trust me. In the meantime, like I said, if any of you can please tell me how Laura's a victim, how FOD is a victim, please either go live and tell me to join you or email me and explain to me how Laura and FOD are victims of Laura's tweets to Randy. Because, well, I just don't understand it. So maybe I'm not getting it. Yeah, some games, yeah. Yeah, it is Dova, but it's going to be fun. Trust me. But I'm going to get off here. I'll see you guys around the tubes. Again, thank you for your support. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And what can I say? Much love to y'all. See you around the tubes, folks.